In this session, we'll explore the use of the Wiegand Code within the Salto database. This is an application where we have the opportunity to use the UpdaterKit or a control unit adapter to provide a traditional Wiegand type code to an existing third-party system. The first area to check is under the general configuration. We need to turn on, under general options, under the key field, we'll see down here a selection that says Wiegand Code. There are two options. One is the profile code, which basically is an independent code per user, a unique ID, so to speak, and the other is a constant code where all user cards, when issued, will get the same code. Secondary to that, there is the Wiegand format. This is a field that's used to designate the definition of how the Wiegand bit structure will be created and passed to the third-party system. In my example, I'm using what I refer to as the standard HID 26-bit structure. And if you're not familiar with bit structures, don't try to learn this on your own. Just simply give us a call and we'll be happy to help you recreate whatever structure you have existing. In my world, I'm going to represent the card in a decimal format with the first 5 digits representing the facility code and the second 5 digits representing the card number. So I'll see all the card numbers in the database as a 10-digit number. The card will actually be, the data will actually, I should say, would be represented on the card as 26 bits of ones and zeros, which is what this little mask down here at the bottom shows you. But again, don't worry too much about that. If you're not familiar with Wiegand, it's more important that you understand what you're doing after this than creating the format. We'll do that for you. The thing to remember is the system supports only one format at a time. The other feature that you're going to want to turn on is this one over here that says Show External ID. The ID field in each of the records is the key index key field for the record. And this will be utilized when we go to associate the Wiegand code with an individual user. For security purposes, the system does not allow us to type in a Wiegand code for a user. So if I go in here and create a new user, and I'm just going to put in demo Wiegand 26-bit as the name, just so that it's simple for us to see. You'll notice that there's a Wiegand code field exposed down here because I've turned it on. But if I place my cursor in there and try to type, I don't get anything because it will not allow me to type in the Wiegand code. Up here at the very top, it has exposed the external ID code. And that's from when I turned on that Show External ID in the advanced features. That allows me to basically type in an external ID code. It needs to be a unique code in the database. So for my purposes today, I'm just going to use BW1. And you can basically type in any string of characters here on your own. Your existing records all have external IDs. They were assigned by the system as you created the records previously. If you want to simplify them, instead of using some 30-character alphanumeric, you can just simply wipe over the top of them and type in anything that's unique. It doesn't matter as long as it's unique in the system. And if it's not, it'll tell you. So I've created an ID, BW1. I've put in my first and last name. I go over here and assign access just like I normally would. For my case, I'm just going to give it a zone of all doors. And now I've created my user. When I open up the user, I don't see anything in the Wiegand code field. So now we're going to go and create the Wiegand code and insert it into the user's record. So the first thing I'm going to do is I opened up Notepad and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in BW1 and I'm going to use a semicolon for the separator. A 3 is an action code in the synchronization module of the application. There is a separate user guide for the synchronization, so feel free to reference that whenever you want to do these types of applications. But it allows you to replace or add data to various different records quickly via the synchronization module. And code 3 basically says, update the existing record if it's present. If it doesn't exist, let's create a new one. So in my case, I know it exists, but I'm going to put a 3 in there. So I'm going to link this in, and then now I'm going to type in a Wiegand code. In my facility, we use Wiegand code 10. So the facility code of 10. So to represent a 10, the first 5 digits will be a 10. Secondary, I look on my card, which has the card ID printed on the card, and on my card, the card ID is 50072. So I'm going to type that in. At this time now, I'm going to save this record, and I'm just going to put it in here under my demo clips. I think I have a folder called Salto Imports, and I'm just going to go in here and type in BW1 demo Wiegand code. Okay, and now I've saved this as a text file, and that's what we're going to use to synchronize to the database. So under the file command, you have an import export and a synchronization. When I go there, I'm now going to say, okay, I'm going to use a comma separated CSV file. I'm going to browse out, and forgive me because my last known one wasn't there, but here it is right here, the one I just created. Salto import BW1 demo Wiegand code. I'm going to open that up. Now when I hit next, by default it says that my separator is a semiconductor, or I'm sorry, a semicolon. Semiconductor, great answer. That's why I'm using the semicolon in my string of data on the first one. So now when I pick next, it shows me the separations. So BW1 is my user ID, that external ID unique key field. 3 is my action code. What do I want to do? I want to find user 1, I want to update or create if it doesn't exist, and I want to put this number in the Wiegand code. And again, it's a 10-digit decimal number that represents facility code 10, card number 50,072. I hit next. I'm going to run it now versus scheduling it for later, and I hit finish. The job is already done. So now when I close out and I open up my user record, here's my demo Wiegand 26, and sure enough, there's my Wiegand code. So once I've inserted it into the database, I still don't have the authority to modify it. I'm only able to view it. So now when I go and create or encode my card, I'm highlighting the record just like normal, and I assign the key. I'm going to place this on the encoder, and I have now assigned the key. So now you see the key assignment to that person's record. If I close this window and do read key, it'll expose my Wiegand code. When I press content, notice it's showing the name of the user's demo Wiegand 26. It has the zone of all doors, and it has a Wiegand code inserted that has the 10-digit code as I described with facility code 10, card number 50,072. So now when this is presented to an UpdaterKit or a control unit or wall reader that has an adapter board associated with it, it will peel out this string and send it to the third-party device. If the third-party device happens to be a Wiegand input, it will match that of what they would normally get from a 26-bit card with this identity on an HID reader as an example. So that's how you do it on the software side. There's another video that basically provides a higher level overview of why you would want to do these things. And there are a variety of other output structures for it. I'm just using the Wiegand code as the easiest example. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd be happy to come and help.